Help me reach 1,000 subscribes. Support the video with a like, and leave your thoughts in the comments. I read every comments. Thanks. James never thought a single sentence could erase an entire future, but that was before Elizabeth said it out loud, calm and certain, like she had rehearsed it in her head for weeks. They were sitting at the small kitchen table where they had once planned vacations and argued over paint colors. Nothing about the evening felt dramatic. No shouting, no tears, just her voice, steady and controlled. "I've met my soulmate," Elizabeth said, "and I think it's time I stop pretending otherwise." James didn't answer right away. He noticed small details instead. The hum of the refrigerator, the flickering light above the sink, the fact that she didn't say sorry. At 29, he felt older than he ever had, like something inside him had folded in on itself. They had been together for 6 years. Not a whirlwind romance, but something that grew slowly and solidly. James worked long hours in logistics, the kind of job that didn't impress anyone but paid the bills. Elizabeth had started dating him at 19, still talking about dreams with the confidence of someone who believed time was unlimited. She said she loved how grounded he was. For a long time, James believed that was enough. The cracks didn't appear all at once. Elizabeth started pulling away in ways that were easy to excuse. Late nights with friends, a new obsession with social media, long stretches where she seemed present but distant. James adjusted like he always did. He gave her space. He stopped asking questions that made her sigh. But something in him kept track of the quiet losses. The way she stopped reaching for his hand. The way her laughter sounded different. He felt it most at night, lying beside her, staring at the ceiling while she scrolled through her phone, smiling at things he never saw. If this part feels familiar, take a moment to like this video so it reaches others who might recognize themselves here. The sentence came on a Tuesday. No build-up. No warning. Elizabeth didn't frame it as confusion or doubt. She framed it as truth. Her soulmate, she explained, was 23. Someone who understood her energy. Someone who made her feel alive again. James noticed how easily she said his age. "What does that make me?" James asked quietly. Elizabeth hesitated, just long enough to hurt. "You're a chapter," she said. "An important one, but not the whole book." That was when James realized the conversation wasn't a discussion. It was a conclusion. She had already left emotionally, and now she was just saying it out loud. He wanted to argue, to list everything he had done, every compromise, every night he chose stability over excitement because he thought that was love. But something stopped him, maybe pride, maybe exhaustion. Instead, he nodded. Elizabeth started talking about logistics, moving out, splitting expenses, how she hoped they could stay mature about this. James listened, but it felt like listening underwater. If you've ever been on the receiving end of a moment like this, tell me in the comments which line hurt the most so far. That night, James slept on the couch, not because she asked him to, but because the bed felt wrong. He stared at the dark ceiling and replayed her sentence. Soulmate, at 23. The number stuck with him more than the word. By morning, Elizabeth was cheerful, lighter. She moved around the apartment humming, already half gone. James watched her and felt clarity rise through the numbness. This wasn't just about her leaving. It was about her rewriting the past. If you had to sum up James's situation in one word right now, type that word in the comments. James didn't beg. He didn't ask for closure. He packed a bag, slowly and deliberately. Before he walked out, he looked at Elizabeth one last time. There was no doubt in her eyes. As he closed the door behind him, James understood something that would take time to accept. The sentence didn't end everything because it was cruel. It ended everything because it was final. And deep down, he knew this wasn't the worst part yet. The real fallout was still waiting ahead. James stayed with a friend the first few nights, letting silence do what arguments never could. Distance stripped the story down to its bones. Without Elizabeth's voice filling the air, he could finally hear his own thoughts. They weren't dramatic. They were practical. He hadn't been abandoned in a moment. He had been replaced in advance. 3 days later, Elizabeth called. Her tone was bright, almost relieved. She wanted to check in, she said, and make sure he was okay. James listened without interrupting. When she paused, expecting reassurance, he said calmly, "I'm fine." It wasn't a lie. It was the beginning of one. She told him about her soulmate, how young love felt different, how age didn't matter when connection was real. James didn't argue. He asked one question instead. "Why tell me this now?" Elizabeth hesitated, then admitted she wanted him to understand, to be happy for her. That was when James saw the truth clearly. This wasn't about honesty. It was about absolution. James hung up and blocked the number, not out of anger, but necessity. Healing required boundaries, not explanations. A week passed. Then, too, life resumed its quiet rhythm. Work, gym, evenings without negotiation. The calm felt unfamiliar, but clean. Then a mutual friend mentioned something James hadn't known. Elizabeth's soulmate was a co-worker, an intern, 23, ambitious, still living with roommates. The relationship hadn't started after the breakup. It had started before the sentence. That was the final puzzle piece. The sentence wasn't bravery. It was timing. If this story stirred something heavy, share it with someone who might need to hear it without feeling judged. James didn't confront her. He didn't post online. He didn't try to warn anyone. He simply withdrew his presence from her life completely. No access, no updates, no emotional labor. In that absence, something unexpected happened. His sense of self returned quietly. He slept better. He laughed without forcing it. He realized how much energy he had spent maintaining something that no longer existed. Months later, Elizabeth tried again. A long message this time. She said things had moved too fast, that she missed their stability, that soulmates weren't always what they promised to be. James read it once and felt nothing spike. No anger, no hope, just clarity. The version of him who would have rushed to fix things didn't exist anymore. He typed one sentence in response and deleted it. Some lessons didn't need to be delivered. James understood now that love isn't proven by how much you endure. It's proven by how much you're willing to walk away from when respect disappears. Elizabeth didn't end everything because she found someone else. She ended it because she believed novelty mattered more than loyalty. And when novelty faded, she reached backward instead of inward. If you think James did the right thing by choosing silence over closure, join the discussion in the comments and explain why. The irony came later. James heard through others that Elizabeth struggled. The soulmate didn't like responsibility. Youth came with limits. Reality returned. James didn't feel vindicated. He felt free, not because she suffered, but because he no longer measured his worth by her choices. He moved forward without bitterness, carrying one hard-earned truth. When someone replaces you easily, it's not because you were forgettable. It's because they were already gone. And sometimes the sentence that ends everything is the one that finally gives you your life back. If this story resonates with you on any level, like the video, comment your perspective, and subscribe so these stories of self-respect and quiet strength can keep reaching the people who need them